As Dante looked at Beatrice, he lost all sense of his surroundings. However, she was not smiling, as something spiritual was occurring. Saludi was the daughter of King Candidus of Thebes and the idol of Harmonia. After she had become the mistress to the idol of Zeus or Jupiter, the idol of Hera or Juno, as Salome's nurse named Beryl, she convinced Semele that her lover was actually the idol of Zeus or Jupiter, and told the Theban woman to request to see the Olympian in all. When this request was made, the idol of Zeus or Jupiter is said to have warned her of what would happen. When Semele admitted she understood, her request was granted. When he revealed his glory to her, likewise, Beatrice's full glory was more potent. Therefore, Dante could not withstand her heavenly glory. Instead, her beauty lessened in its splendor to help temper the impact. This is a good thing, as they were getting closer to the Blessed and Holy Trinity by then. The Florentine duo had left Jupiter when Dante looked at Beatrice and lost all sense of his surroundings. Now they were approaching what appeared to be seen within the bounds of the constellation of Leo. Dante was to be attentive to what he would see here on the Saturnian. As the Florentine poet surveyed the landscape, saw a large golden staircase stretching heavenward. Descending these steps were a splendid multitude of silent souls. For a moment he thought each light that in the heaven appears was very diffuse. Canto 21:32-33. As the rooks gather in the morning and move about, Dante witnessed how these souls either moved further away or were milling about. Soon a soul approached the duo and grew in its illumination. This caused Dante to desire to know who the soul was, but refrained from asking so much. Beatrice was silent. Soon, though, Beatrice instructed Dante to speak to ask. Dante told the soul that he realized he was not worthy to ask this soul a question. However, he wondered why the soul had approached him and why the souls here were silent. The soul responded not hear anything because Dante could not withstand such heavenly music or singing. The soul came only to welcome Dante to desire. He explained to Dante that the souls were assigned in correlation to the Father's governing. Dante accepted this answer, but then wondered why, out of all the Saturnian souls, it was this soul who welcomed him. As you watch the soul turn like a swift millstone, the point is love. Speak to him by saying, on me directed is a light divine, piercing through this in which I am embosomed, of which the virtue within my sight conjoined lifts me above myself. So for the supreme essence from which this is drawn, hence comes the joyfulness with which I flame, for to my sight, as far as it is clear, the clearness of the flame I equal make. Canto 21:83-90. The Father's grace penetrated through the soul's heart and merged with his intellect. The fusion elevated the soul in a manner which transcended his human faculties, allowing him to witness the eternal one's essence with but that soul in the heaven which is most pure, that seraph which his eye on the Father most fixed was, could this demand of thine not satisfy? You assume that this was the eternal statute, what thou askest. From all created sight it is cut off into the mortal world when thou returnest. This carry back, that it may not presume longer toward such a goal to move it, and thou shineth here on earth till smoke. From this observe how can it do below that which it cannot, though the heaven assume it. Canto 21:90. No created being in heaven, mortal or immortal, were capable of understanding the reasoning of the Father. The angelic beings and humans alike have a limited knowledge and limited reasoning. While humanity thinks it can understand why things occur, we honestly cannot. Remember that since the garden, Adam's seed cannot understand such due to this answer caused Dante to realize that within his inquiry, he's beginning to transgress beyond the limits of human and angelic capacity. However, the Florentine poet was curious of who indicated that he was the Benedictine Cardinal Peter Damian, who was in the inner sanctum of Pope Leo IX. This is the Pope that sent Humbert Cilia Candida, the papal secretary, who would become Pope Stephen IX and Archbishop Peter of Amalfi, to Episcopal Patriarch Michael Carolus of Constantinople. Cardinal Damian said that it seemed that the cardinals at Dante's time were more like whitewashed tombs than the legitimate and devout cardinals of Cardinal Daniel's lifetime. The modern cardinals behaved nothing like they were in Paul. As the cardinal finished, Dante saw several souls descending the staircase and surrounded Cardinal Damian. As the Florentine poet observed, the souls shouted with such thunderous magnitude that nothing on